Hi everyone, now just to clarify before we start this video, this isn't actually the video I wanted to put out. Initially, I had gone and done a couple of Monroes. I wanted to do another Monroe video because it was actually quite exciting because the weather was absolutely atrocious. We had to change what hill we had to do, and there was a bunch of other stuff, and basically you could just see the rain basically at eye level just swooshing past the camera. Swooshing? Something similar. It was moving past the camera. It was really cool. There were some cool moody time lapses, but I lost all the footage. All the footage. Nothing else has been affected. Just this one folder that has all the footage from that day, including all the... Did I get drone footage? I didn't get drone footage. All the time lapses. All gone. Never to be seen again. Which means I have no proof that I did the hill. Including all the... I just realised all the photos I took to prove that I was on those peaks are all gone. So... yeah, sometimes you just can't win. There were no hills that I can prove, although in the coming weekends, as long as the weather's alright, we will redeem that. But, in other news, the gyms have now been open for the 4th week now. I want to say this is week 4. Let's say it's week 4. So, basically, up until now, I didn't realise how hard it would be to get back in shape. Part of me was kind of thinking, obviously it would be hard. But I didn't realise that when you're in your late 20s upwards and you basically spent 6 months doing nothing and living like a fat, lazy piece of shit, basically it's nigh impossible to try and get back into things really quickly. Back when I was younger, it just used to take 2 weeks of hard work and you'd be back there, but basically with nothing happening at all until probably Easter at the earliest next year, just nothing in general, nothing started, nothing set in stone, is I'm going to give myself an actual solid chance of training because I've never really done it before. When I was at uni, you kind of mixed it around drinking. When I left uni, you mixed it around working, and basically as soon as I put on weight, I lose it like straight away. So there's never ever been a time to actually gain muscle and actually spend some time focusing on technique A, B and C. Just bits and bobs, because at the end of the day, I only do this for fun, so it's not like it's like a professional regime. It's just, you know, something you want to experiment with. So on a typical cycle, you would have your mileage. So at the start of a training cycle, you'd have your mileage where you build up your work capacity, and that basically allows you to then, when you transition from that volume into intensity, your body can cope with the oxygen deprivation that's required to increase that intensity. So as you increase the speed, for instance, you need to do it more on an anabolic basis rather than an aerobic basis, but at the same time, your aerobic threshold is very useful to have when you are training that. So you kind of go through that threshold, and then that gets to a point where you get to your peak intensity, and that's where you compete at something, and then after that you recover, you focus a bit more on technique, then you start the whole cycle again. But typically, what happens is that occurs from winter time and then finishes in the summer, or starts the end of summer, finishes the start of the next summer. You know, kind of a 1 year cycle. Anyway, here's a diagram of it, right? That's what it looks like. That's what it makes sense. This is what I'm doing. Right, so this is what I've come up with on this nice, luxurious piece of cardboard. So the plan you've got here, this is volume, this black line, this red line is intensity, and then this blue line is technique. So the idea is between now and Christmas, keep the volume as high as possible. By this point, it'll be Christmas. This is where I'll stop for Christmas, and at this point, I'll look like the Hulk. Now, moving moving along, so between winter and Easter, so Christmas and spring, winter and spring, I'm then going to increase that intensity and focus on trying to get to almost a peak where the volume starts to decrease and then the intensity increases, so I don't overload myself. But the idea is that at some point I should be able to shoot through, and my performance when I get to here should be greater than when I started here, which would actually start down here because I haven't done anything in 6 months. So it starts here and ideally finishes up here, and then after this you go into summer and then you recover into the summer holidays, where I will do sweet FA again. And then as you go through it, your technique will slowly, my technique in everything should hopefully increase and get better and become more solid, whether it's squats or swimming or running, whatever it is. And then at this point here, I should have a swim meet, do a marathon, and then give up for summer. So my idea is get hench, get good at something, smash it competitively, recover from it. So this is your working capacity. This is you specializing. This is you smashing your goal, and then this is your reward. Alright, currently on my way to the pool to get my ass handed to me. So let's get this started.